Welcome to the 2020 Waverly Soccer Boys Awards Ceremony. That is virtual this year. We do have a live audience. The boys are here. But if you are watching this back, welcome. So to start out with, I want to start out, really, I didn't think I'd be able to start out any other way than saying thank you. This year, gentlemen, it was a crazy year, right? Starting from, getting hired in late May to going in and starting my first year coaching in a pandemic. So we fought through it, fought through a couple of COVID scares, but luckily, it was a blessing we never got shut down, right? So we did all the things we were asked to do, and this year, if I was to sum it up with one word, it would definitely be resilience, right? We never gave up from the beginning, and even though we had everything, our backs were up against the wall, everything was against us, we still fought through it. So, other than that, I would like to start with a couple of thank yous. First, thank you, Tim Adukas. When you're watching this, Tim, thank you. I appreciate everything that you did with announcing, to turning the music up, to turning the music on, and playing your awesome pregame playlist, like you said. So I appreciate everything you did with that. Second thing, Kai and Hannah Pulliam, whenever you all are watching this, thank you for running the clock, for doing live streams, for making it a lot easier during pregame and not having to deal with that myself, and you guys taking that over. I appreciate it. Hannah, I know you thought it was not out of obligation. Even if it was out of obligation, I appreciate what you did. The second one, or the last one, next one, Margie, Michelle, and Tracy. You three, thank you so much for the senior night, putting it on, everything that you did with the flowers and coordinating it with the posters and stuff of the three seniors. I appreciate you putting that on. Once again, that takes such a big load off of my shoulders. Michelle, once again, Michelle Brown and Tony Madukas, thank you both for working the concession stands for every home game. You two volunteered for that. You didn't have to do that, especially Michelle having a senior, but I really appreciate you all doing that for the home games, for the girls' games. The next person I want to thank, once again, Tracy Lamberson. I appreciate everything that you did being the team parent. On top of fundraisers, having meetings on getting new equipment and doing funding and different things like that, I really appreciate everything that you do. The next one, and he's not here yet, but he will make a late appearance, as he always does, right? So Luke Perparo, and he will appreciate that I am doing this now with him not here. Everything Luke did, boys, whether it was running a drill or taking the ball bag downtown because I was going the opposite way and he was heading to the gym. Luke did a lot this year, and I couldn't have had a better assistant, so I thank him. And then the last one, my father, Phil McAllister, and he is going to hate every word that I'm going to say next. So, Dad, thank you for everything that you did with stats, whether it was analyzing them, talking to the boys about what you saw, and being there whenever I needed you. McAllister Sr. is what they called you, and I couldn't be happier to have anybody around other than you. So now that I'm done being sappy, okay, so let's, because this night's only going to get a little bit more sappy, right, Brock? So let's get rolling first. Let's do a year in review. So this year we were a team full of juniors, right? If you're a junior, raise your hand because they can see you. As you can see, there are more hands raised in the room there than there will be if everybody else raises their hands instead of them. Very junior dominant. We do have a few of us not with us today. We have one on an iPad being FaceTime because he's on his way home from Alabama. Actually, two of them on one iPad. We got another one who is firing up a walk, right, at Panda Express, cooking all the fried rice he can cook with Keegan Smith. So We are missing a few today. We do miss them here, but we were very junior dominant. Now, going in this year was kind of a transition year, right, gentlemen? The record might not have been what we wanted to. The record this year was 4-11-2, so 4 wins, 11 losses, and 2 ties. Just a few highlights from this year. Yeah, the record does show that we did lose more than we won. What I appreciate out of this group is everybody in this group feels like that could have been way different in every single game. Just for me, it felt like every game had 2 or 3 moments in every game where it was either one way or the other, and it determined whether we won or we lost. That's not an excuse, because we do not make excuses here, but at the same time, it really makes me feel happy for the future, because we were right on the cusp this year. One big standout was going down to Wheelersburg, and we lost 3-1. But at the same time, we were in that game. The scoreboard, Drake, right, showed something different than what the actual game was. We put a goal up, the first goal on a team that went to the state Final Four in their division. That team was really good, and we took them right on the ropes. And they were worried, and the coach even said that. And that's what I like to hear. Now, obviously, next year we'll be looking for something different, but at the same time, I'm very proud of every single one of you. Another highlight was the Miami-Trace game, a shutout. We defeated them 3-0. It was a great game, up 1-0 at half, and then we ended up winning 3-0. Put 2 goals up in the second half. A lot of resilience once again there. We could have laid down because they were playing us tough, and then we came back and won. So the common theme is resilience, to be honest, because the last highlight is the final game of the year. Was our tournament game. We got defeated in the tournament by McLean, and I know that every single one of these boys is stinging that I'm even talking about this. But that stinging is the whole reason why I'm talking about it, because the fact that we feel like that result could have been a lot different. And we didn't give up the whole game, and we haven't given up all year. And to go out on that note, not giving up till the very end, till the final whistle, really summed it up. And I'll never forget that final huddle on the sideline with all of them. This is a very close group, ladies and gentlemen, on watching this back. And I couldn't have picked a better group of boys to be around this year. Whether it was them trying to make me laugh by saying something stupid, or whether it was them trying to ask me to see what they could do to get better, and ultimately to play more. But the better thing was that we were focusing more on how do I get better as a player, and everyone in this group here really worked their tails off every year, or every day. Wow. It's been a long day, so we're going to work our way around it. Now, let me look at my agenda here. On to the next thing. Yeah. We're going to do our first year Varsity Awards. So for this award, you had to play more than 2 games in a season to be considered varsity in the game. Everybody on this team was awarded a varsity letter. The first year varsity letter is given to those who are in their first year, normally freshmen, or if they decided to come in and play for the first time and try something new. Now, this group, I'm going to talk about each individual group as a whole, and then at the end we'll talk about our individual seniors. But this group is a very eager group, willing to do anything that I asked them to, whether it was sanitize hands whenever people were being subbed in and out, whether it was to keep people focused, whether it was to score goals. This group had a lot of diversity in it, but also very eager to learn. Obviously, being a first-year varsity player, they basically jumped into the deep end. So coming in and asking questions is what I always like freshmen to do, or first-year players. And Atkins, there was a lot of questions being asked, right? Kataka, would you agree? And we really worked our way to answer those questions, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Now, so the first-year Varsity Award winners. The first person is Carson Kataka. Next up is Bryson Riggs. And last but not least, first year varsity letter, Caleb Atkins. So now on to our second group. This group is our second year varsity letters. Normally this is this group this year is full of sophomores. To earn the award, you had to play varsity for 2 years, and this year we had 3 of them do that. This group kept me on my toes. A lot from this group, and to be honest, I got one smiling at me down here. And the big thing is that this group I am very proud of, because there was a lot of improvement from this group throughout the year. And it kept me on my toes, either coming in maybe either a little bit late, or coming in with no shoes, or coming in without any equipment. Some of us kind of kept me on a little bit of toes here in this group. But you know, this group is a great group, fun group, and I'm proud of every single one of them. I really look forward to seeing them grow as juniors, both either physically and in the game with their skills. So without further ado, our second year varsity award letter. First up, Graydon Harris. I think he was expecting a picture.
I know you return like this, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
You want me to turn too?
It's a habit. Next, second year varsity letter, David Boyer. And last but not least, Wyatt Kingery. Now for the big group. And we got a couple of them playing around with an iPad right now. I don't know what's going on. But this is actually everybody in this group this year is the junior group. Just looking at it right now, it looks like there's 12 of them. So this will take a little bit of time. But at the same time, this group, as I mentioned before, a lot of heart in this group. At the same time, he's not loaded. But at the same time, you know, a lot of goofiness too. A lot of joking around, playing around, but at the same time, I see a lot of past groups in them to where they flip the switch, and whenever it's time to flip the switch, they get serious and they're ready to go. I couldn't be more proud of this group. I couldn't be more excited for this group either. This group is there's going to be a lot of stuff to do next year, right, Drake? So without further ado, this group will start out with the captain himself, third-year varsity letter, Drake Teeters. Next on the list, he is not here, but third-year varsity letter awarded to Keegan Smith. Next on the list, Parker Riggs, third-year varsity letter. Parker may or may not need a haircut. Love you, Parker. Now, next up, third-year varsity letter awarded to Adam Pisick. Next up on the list, third-year varsity letter, Britton Kritzweiser. Next, third-year varsity letter awarded to Aaron Haynes. Next on the list, he is currently, I think, is he still sleeping in the car? No, he's awake now. There he is. He is live streamed in via FaceTime on his way home from vacation. Third-year varsity letter awarded to Ty Reisinger. Miss you, Ty.
Don't want to say anything. It's okay.
Yeah. So, moving on. Next up, third-year varsity letter awarded to Caleb Boyer.
Yeah. Hey! Hey! Welcome. You're just in time. That's Waylon and Ty.
Okay, and that clap right there, folks, was for the best assistant coach in Southern Ohio, Luke Perparo. There he is with the beanie and all. Yeah, hold your applause. He's going to come up here and help me. Unfortunately, Luke had to work up until a few minutes ago, so he is here a little late. But all that matters is that he's here, right? So. Hey, so next up, before we were interrupted by the grand entrance, Joey Brownfield, third year varsity letter. Next up, third year varsity letter awarded to Elijah McCain. Next up on the list, coming in live via an iPad once again, and you may or may not be able to see him through the video, but third year varsity letter awarded to Waylon Lamberson. Hey, and last but not least, third year varsity letter awarded to Caleb Madukas.
Yeah. There go John. Johnny.
Okay, so now we're going to take a little bit of a detour. We're going to save our seniors for last, right? Because we're saving the best for last, right, Brock? And we're going to go into our Soc League Awards. The way the awards are divvied out is they're voted among the coaches. And this year we had 3 slots. We had 2 first team SOC Division II slots, and we have 1 first team SOC Division II slots. I meant second team. I said that wrong, right? So what we're going to do here is I'll call you up, starting out first team All SOC, awarded to forward Caleb Boyer. Are you guys saying that I should be an announcer? Is that what's going on? No. Not even close?
We wear the same clothes every single day.
Okay, so next up, first team All SOC, Aaron Haynes, goalkeeper. All right, moving on to second team All SOC, forward junior Keegan Smith. Once again, Keegan's not here today, but congratulations, Keegan. So much more exciting with Luke in the background. Now, next we're moving on to, as you can see, folks, we have almost too much fun sometimes. We try our best to be serious, but that's kind of hard. Now, moving on to all district awards. Once again, the coaches in the district voted for these awards. And we'll go ahead and start this time with honorable mention. Okay, so starting out with honorable mention, all district, Britton Chrisweiser. He just broke some protocol jumping on the stage. So, and then next up, also honorable mention, all district, couldn't be here again with us today, Waylon Lamberson. Congratulations, Waylon. Next up, second team, all district. The suspense building. We'll go ahead and start out with forward Keegan Smith. Keegan, once again, congratulations. Next up, also second team all district. Defender, captain skips himself, Drake Teeters. Next up, we'll move on to First Team All-District Awards. Earning First Team All-District honors this year, Caleb Boyer. Next up, also earning First Team All-District Awards, Aaron Haynes. So now we're moving on to the fun part of the evening. Whenever I was thinking up of how to make the banquet, how to come up with an agenda, an order of events here, one thing that I wanted to continue to hone in on throughout this banquet is the fact that we are a team, right? And that we are together, and that we are not, we're not a group of individuals. We are a group of individuals that come together and work together at all the time. Now, because of that, as you can see, there was not a lot of individual recognition among the group there that I just went through. But one thing I want to make sure that we do throughout the banquets from here on forward is to have a little bit of recognition. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have this thing that I like to call the Senior Spotlight. It is also known as the 4-year Varsity Letter Award. So these gentlemen have been a part of this team for 4 years. They've worked hard from beginning to end, and I can't be more proud of them. So here I'm going to walk through and talk about each one individually for maybe 1 or 2 minutes each. I'm not going to try to take too long because I'm sure I've already taken long enough. But moving on, we'll go ahead and start out talking about senior number 4, Race Brown. So Race, buddy, it's been fun. It's been a good ride from beginning to end. You, by far, and he's looking at me, him by far kept me on my toes throughout the whole season. And I'd say that in the best way possible. He is fun to be around, jokes around at practice, but the one thing that I appreciated the most from Race this year, was the fact of you were always wanting to improve. You were always asking me, how can I get in more? How can I be better? What can I do to be the best player that I can be for this team? And I appreciated that. I appreciate that so much because not very many seniors have that attitude. And because you think you've been in the league or you've been in for 4 years and you don't have anything to improve on, is what you think. But not you. You were always wanting to get better. I'll never forget our sideline conversations during games and all of the reasons why you showed up to practice at certain times, whether it be because I couldn't get out of my parking lot or school was backed up, all those things. We joke around. Yeah, the dogs got loose one time. That was a lot of fun. But, I say this and I'm joking and, Race, we loved having you on the team. I loved having you on the team and I appreciate everything you've done for Waverly Soccer. As you come forward, everybody, for your varsity letter, Race Brown. Oh yes, and he passed out in the middle of a game, so that was also keeping me on my toes.
Thanks, Brian. We were gonna wait till afterward. Hi. So we were gonna wait till afterward. Did you bring all three?
Hey. Hold on a second. Race. Stay here for a second. All right. Go ahead and stay on the stage. We'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Perks of being videoed at a different time and not live. And she's going to cut that out too. Yeah, so Rach, you can stand right there. Okay, moving on. Our next senior spotlight, senior number 24, 14, and whatever number you wanted to give him, Patrick Koppel. And so, Patty, did I say that right, Patrick?
Sure.
Koppel or Koppel?
Yeah.
It's Koppel. That's what I thought.
Couple
Now,
Copla.
now, Patrick. So, Patrick, you never failed to make me scratch my head. And I mean that in the best way possible. Patrick was always fun to be around. I've known Patrick since, I don't know how long, since he was just a little kid running around at my games whenever I was playing. And Patrick has always been eager to learn. He's always been eager to be around the game. And I don't know if I've met anybody who loves the game more than Patrick Koppel. Patrick is a hardworking individual on and off the field, and literally everything that he does. And Patrick, I couldn't be more proud of who you are today. Thank you for stepping into the role that you stepped into this year. Once again, like I said, with Race, not very many seniors come in with an attitude ready to be a leader, come off the bench, and do what you do best. I could not be proud of who you are, and I'm running out of words, or I'm going to start crying. So, moving on, once again.
I know that he was one of the few players that you could say in the same sentence, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah. And if you couldn't hear that, basically he is one of the few players, and I agree with Luke when he says this, he is one of the few players that can make you scratch your head, Patrick, what are you doing? But then in the next moment be like, great job, Patrick, that was great. And Patrick, the one moment that sticks out to me is the last game of the year. It was, leading up to that, you come in and you assist a goal. And we were excited, and we were like, yes, this was exactly what we were coming to, and then it got taken away from us. So that's kind of like one of those moments where we were like, you know what, it was all coming together, and Patrick, without further ado, I couldn't be any prouder for you. So 4th year varsity letter awarded to Patrick Koppel. Look at that, we have our own hats now. Or at least you have your own hat. I don't know if I have one. So, now, last but not least, our final senior spotlight here is a kid I've known for a long time that I felt like his bus driver for a little bit. Because anytime he needed a ride home from practice, even before I was hired by the school, I always gave him one. 4th year varsity award, varsity letter earned by Brock Mitchell. Now, Brock, you can stay there for a second because I'm going to talk to you directly. So, Brock is one of those kids that 4 years, he never fails to make me laugh at some point. Whether it was him making a comment about a teammate, whether it was him making a comment about another team, or whether it was him making a comment about me. It was always make me laugh. And it was always out of the blue, right? And Brock, I cannot be more proud of who you are as a player, stepping into a role that you were not familiar with as a forward and learning from it, becoming the defender's best friend, becoming my high post player on offense. And he still says it to this day. It was so odd playing forward, but at the same time, he did it and he built on it. And I am so proud of him progressing as a player as well as a young man. And I could not be prouder of him, and I cannot be more proud of these two other guys on the stage right now. So without further ado, I will shut up. And Brock Mitchell awarded the truck, the diesel, the Brock and Roll, awarded 4-year varsity letter. Okay, so I guess we got some gifts. Our seniors awarded us some gifts. We appreciate it. Thank you for whoever put that together. Parents, I also forgot at the beginning, okay? I'll get to it here in a second. But first, I'm going to talk about this group together. These three, I'm proud of all three of these guys, and we can learn from these three. These three adopted a top-down leadership system without them even knowing they adopted a top-down leadership system, to where they showed what it's like to be a leader on this team from the top. And hopefully juniors will learn from them. And then next year, juniors, when you're seniors, it'll be your job to show the juniors how to lead.
How many times you guys see Brock carrying the water?
And I'll never forget, and that's one thing about these three guys. They are selfless. They always carried the water. They always carried the bags, the ball bags. They always carried the pennies. Or if somebody didn't do it, or if they didn't do it, they were getting somebody else to do it. And they weren't just saying freshmen do it, as most organizations would. And that's not us. And I'm very proud of these three with doing that without me really talking to them too much about it. That's just who they are, and that really speaks to their character and I'm very proud of all three of them. Now, that concludes our ceremony. Before we end, I do want to thank all parents. Thank you all for everything that you've done. I know I missed you at the beginning, but thank you for everything that you have done, all the support, all of the adjustments that we had to make this year. I appreciate every single thing that you did for us and the team. So let's give that round of applause for the parents. Without further ado, that concludes our banquet. Thank you all, and have a great night.